London. 3:47 a.m. The world is asleep, but in a cramped, dark flat, bathed in the sickly glow of 3 flickering monitors, a lone figure is wide awake. His name is Robert Westbrook, and he's waiting for the American markets to open. 5 minutes ago, he completed the perfect digital heist. He hacked a CEO's inbox and stole tomorrow's top-secret earnings report. Now, he's trading stocks, options, $3 million in leveraged bets. One click could turn a small $10,000 stake into a millionaire's fortune by sunrise. He has a secret nobody else has: the power of time. But outside, in the quiet pre-dawn gloom, an unmarked van rolls to a silent stop. For 18 months, it's been a game of cat and mouse across a digital ocean. Now, the net is closing. A silent alert flashes on his screen: connection traced. Boots pound the stairwell. Metal meets wood. The door is about to break. He hesitates over the keyboard. How did a bedroom hacker outsmart the entire U.S. financial system for this long? And who finally found the single fatal flaw in his perfect digital armor? Welcome to The Digital Sleuth, where we uncover the intersection of finance and fraud. This is a cybercrime documentary about how the biggest secrets on Wall Street weren't kept in vaults, but in the vulnerable inboxes of unsuspecting executives. Our story begins not in the frenetic towers of finance, but in this modest London apartment. Robert Westbrook, 39, was unassuming, armed only with a powerful laptop, a deep knowledge of coding, and a terrifying realization: the biggest secret on Wall Street is time. Every quarter, executives finalize earnings reports and discuss results hours or even days before the public sees them. That tiny sliver of pre-public information is a goldmine. If he could sneak a peek, he could essentially print money from thin air. A scheme known as hack to trade. But how does an outsider infiltrate the most sensitive data of U.S. corporations? Westbrook understood that brute force hacking was a waste of time. He needed to be clever. He needed a dark web scam tactic applied with surgical precision. The answer crystallized into a word: phishing. Not the Nigerian prince email kind, but sophisticated spear phishing. Hyper-targeted attacks designed to bypass corporate defenses. Westbrook researched his targets: senior executives at mid-sized U.S. firms. They were big enough to move markets, but small enough that their cyber defenses might be lax at the C-suite level. This is a major security flaw we see over and over. Companies focus on the perimeter, but the most powerful targets often skip basic security training. Westbrook crafted an email that looked identical to Microsoft's official login alert. The subject line read, "Office 365. Password reset notice action required." This is credential harvesting in its purest form. He wasn't trying to hack their systems, he was simply asking for the key. Under false pretense, he was relying on human error and the urgency implied by a critical system notification. He hits send. Then he waits. Minutes pass. Ping. One executive takes the bait. Thinking they are resetting their password on a corporate portal, they instead hand their credentials directly to Robert Westbrook. He's in. Westbrook opens the first breached inbox. Spreadsheets. Draft press releases. Confidential financial numbers. The company's revenue is far higher than analysts expect. When this news goes public tomorrow, the stock will explode. He's about to become an insider without ever setting foot in an American boardroom. Now he has to be silent and fast. Westbrook moves quickly, setting a silent auto-forwarding rule. Every incoming email quietly copies to his burner account. It's an invisible, persistent backdoor that bypasses most network monitoring. Before logging out, he carefully covers his tracks, marking messages as read, deleting traces of the login. The goal: stay invisible for as long as possible. His next step is crucial: translating this secret intel into maximum profit. This is where the financial fraud mechanics come into play. The company's stock is trading at $20. He knows it's going to 30. He could just buy stock. But that's slow. He chooses options. Options are cheap contracts that give you the right, but not the obligation, to buy a stock at a certain price before a certain date. by purchasing call options set to expire shortly after the announcement. Westbrook is making a bold, highly leveraged bet. If the stock goes up by $1, a single share of stock nets $1, but a single in-the-money option contract, controlling 100 shares, can multiply his investment tenfold or more. It's the digital equivalent of pumping pure gasoline into the market. He was following a well-trod, yet rarely caught, path. We saw a massive version of this in the mid-2010 seconds when groups of hackers, primarily from Eastern Europe, systematically breached newswire services like PR Newswire and Business Wire. They didn't hack a single executive, they hacked the source of the announcements, stealing over 150,000 press releases before they were public. They used that info to net over $100 million in profits. Westbrook's method was smaller in scale but identical in spirit: information arbitrage through cybercrime. The earnings hit. The stock soars. Westbrook sells his options, turning a few $1,000s into hundreds of thousands in a single morning. A first score complete. The champagne tasted sweet. The power was intoxicating. Emboldened, Westbrook scales up. Over the next year, he breaches 5 different companies: a manufacturer, a software provider, a gas station chain. He compromises at least 14 earnings announcements, netting nearly $3.75 million in illicit profit. He truly believes he is a ghost. To maintain this anonymity, his cybersecurity protocols are paranoid and layered. First, VPN chaining. He routes his internet traffic through layers of VPN services, bouncing his connections across continents to mask his London IP address. Second, disposable IDs. He uses burner emails and fake names for his trading accounts. Third, cryptocurrency laundering. The money, the blood of his operation, is immediately converted into Bitcoin. He tumbles the crypto through mixing services on the dark web to try and scatter the coins like digital smoke, then transfers them to fresh wallets. On the surface, there are no ties linking the London flat to the US trades. It feels like the perfect crime, but in the quiet halls of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, and the FBI's cyber unit in New York, a screen lights up. Their sophisticated algorithms flag an anomaly. Someone is buying a lot of options, repeatedly, right before earnings, and winning big every time. This is not luck. It's an impossible winning streak. The initial investigation is blind. They subpoena the trading accounts, which lead to bogus identities. They examine the company IT logs and find the telltale sign of the hack: that odd, forgotten auto-forwarding rule, pointing to an unknown Gmail. They confirm it's a hack-to-trade scheme. But where is the hacker? Then comes the breakthrough. Bitcoin, Westbrook's beloved escape route, becomes his downfall. The SEC's crypto tracing team, using advanced blockchain analytics tools, begins to follow the money. Remember, every Bitcoin transaction is permanently recorded on a public ledger. Mixing services can obscure the path, but they can't erase the entries. Investigators use clustering algorithms to connect the wallets that receive the profits. Most of the path is dark, but they find one single, tiny error: a small withdrawal from a laundered wallet to a currency exchange account that required Know Your Customer, or KYC, identification. That one breadcrumb was enough. They connected the exchange account to a real name. His name, Robert Westbrook. The anonymous ghost was no more. The net tightens. Autumn 2024. Just before dawn, British authorities, tipped off by the FBI, swarm the London flat. The boots pound the stairwell. Westbrook's laptop is still glowing. Digital evidence of his entire operation spread across the screen. He scrambles, but it's too late. The door bursts open. In that instant, the world of fake IDs and layered VPNs came crashing down. His perfect crime wasn't perfect after all. He was defeated not by a firewall, but by a blockchain entry and a single moment of laziness or hubris at a crypto exchange. He now faces extradition to the United States on charges of securities fraud, wire fraud, and multiple counts of computer fraud. He faces potentially decades in prison and the clawback of every dollar of his ill-gotten gains. Westbrook's scheme sent a chill through the halls of finance. If a lone Brit can penetrate the financial secrets of multiple American companies, what's next? The answer is, unfortunately, more of this. This is the future of cybercrime. Westbrook's downfall offers us all a clear warning. The biggest vulnerability in any organization isn't the software. It's the person in the chair. Here's how you, and the companies you trust, can defend against these hyper-sophisticated digital threats. First, activate multi-factor authentication, or MFA, everywhere. Westbrook's entire scheme relied on stealing a password, MFA. Specifically, an authenticator app and not SMS would have rendered that password useless. If it's available for your work or personal accounts, turn it on. Second, verify urgent requests out of band. If you receive an urgent email from your CEO or bank asking you to click a link, reset a password, or transfer funds, stop. Do not reply to the email. Pick up the phone, or use a separate, verified channel to confirm the request. This defeats 99% of all executive phishing attempts. Third, watch the URL. If you are asked to log in, always look at the URL in the address bar. Is it Office 365.com or Office 365 login? Net. That tiny difference is the difference between security and catastrophe. Finally, use unique passwords. Use a password manager to create and store unique, complex passwords for every single account. One compromised account should never lead to another. Robert Westbrook was brilliant, but he was also blinded by greed. He exploited the system's weakness but fatally underestimated the relentless, algorithmic power of the guardians who watch the digital rails of our global economy. The ghost has been caught, but the threat remains. Stay safe out there. If you want to know how the dark web operates and what a single hacker did to an entire country's internet, check out my video linked here. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Digital Sleuth, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. I'm the Digital Sleuth, and I'll see you in the next investigation.